galaxy not so far away, a band of heroes journey through the middle of the planet, with no one to guide them or help them get back. They must embark on their most perilous adventure of all, the long way home.
Yep, that should work.
You need to pull my character sheet.
I like that our last image is of an Allosaur. It's very fitting for what we did last time.
Indeed. Where are we this time?
So I'll do you want me to go over the recap, or does anyone else
Yes,
want to?
please.
I have Megan's fantastic notes here.
Ah, yes, good on her
Wow.
for taking notes, because I don't.
Speaking of which, I think I made a SG53 notes channel. I did. And so that's in there.
You did.
If you want, you can pull that up for notes. Here's something I do as a player in my own a different campaign. I have the notes up, and as something happens, I type it down. And then I hit enter. And then it gets into this chat log of things that have happened. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it'll help everybody out if you do. It'll help me too. But don't feel pressured, because I will also do what I did earlier, which is watch the previous session before hosting one. I only had time to listen to
I'm bad at taking notes in general, so
That's okay.
I just don't.
Okay. Whatever you
My
want to
man-
do.
My man, look, normally I'd love to help out, but I just learned about meeting minutes recently, and I do not want to have to take those in D&D.
I've been a secretary
I
on a
hated
board.
that
I've
assignment.
been there.
Oh, I am so sorry.
I used to be a secretary on a school board. Now I'm the treasurer and accountant for a church, and I go to council meetings for that. But I don't have to take minutes since I'm not the secretary.
That's sick.
I'm also mostly just presenting. Blah, blah, blah. I almost said presentating. That's not a word, Dan. All right. Well, we're all in. Are you able to see the game, Spencer?
Oh, the map, the currently black rectangle?
Okay, good.
Like
I
my
just want to
heart?
make sure you can see the table for now. I actually don't have a map out yet. I may not
Nobody
for a
gets
few
onto that?
minutes. But
I said like my heart. Oh, it's like,
brutal.
I can't believe that just went under the radar just now. Whatever. Sorry, it's
Brutal.
a joke.
How is that overbearing? What I just turned on?
No.
No.
Eh.
I have no idea if it's super loud or not. Also, I think this is a little bit sadder than I wanted to play. Hang on.
The strange dice rolling.
Get the mood
That
right,
happened.
Dan.
Strange dice rolling that seems to be happening as action of a poltergeist is a little unnerving.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're referring to. My cursor is all the way on the other side of the board.
Yeah, right.
No, look at it.
It could very easily be like a hotkey.
I have no idea what's going on. This is fine. I like to open up with prayer, but but if anyone else wants to, that's fine too. Otherwise, I will just probably say the Lord's Prayer, I guess. Do you want to join me in saying the Lord's Prayer?
Sure.
All right.
No, we came here to not say it.
What a rockin' response.
Do you? I don't know if there's. I don't think there's a different variation that's used in the Catholic Church. I think it's the.
Yes, actually, kind of.
Oh, then
You
maybe
say
this
a
is
little extra phrase at the very end. that
Oh.
we only say at Mass, for some reason. I don't know why the discrepancy is there. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours now and forever. That.
Oh,
you guys
I
say
have heard
you
that.
do that by default.
I have heard. I remember that.
We do not.
Now.
Unless we're in Mass, then we do. again, I really don't know why the discrepancy is there, and at the moment, I don't care.
I think the spirit of it is the
But
same.
everything else is basically the same, unless you translate differently
Okay.
for whatever reason.
Odd. Okay, well, I guess I'll just do it then, I guess. God our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I have noticed in the recordings that I always pray really quickly. I'm like, amen.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
kinda
it
do
seems
too.
that way to you guys, but I talk pretty quickly, I guess.
You know, I remember at some family gatherings, everybody continuing and saying, you know, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours. And I remember being really weirded out. I was like, wait, whoa, we stopped like, we were supposed to stop like 4 seconds ago. But that's how sheltered I was.
Last session, I think went really well. I definitely enjoyed it. We picked up after that weird shambling mud encounter that I did ad-libbed, where Eli just completely destroyed the mud, and it was so stupid it didn't attack anyone else.
I really liked that one.
I'm glad you liked it because
that was a great moment.
I was a little disappointed in myself. I was like, this was really boring. But when I heard that you liked it, that was good for me.
Yeah, I think, like, not every battle needs to be like this high stakes. Oh no, they're in actual danger.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good to have battles like that where it's just, yeah, we're awesome. Some random goon comes up to us. Yeah, we got this.
As humbly as possible, I'm awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Frankly, the best at fighting. Okay.
Please tell me you recorded that.
Oh, this is being recorded.
Awesome. Yeah, I said please tell me you recorded that.
Yeah. I just double checked, yes. Yeah. Last session we picked up after that, you're helping Guanwa, the leader of the tribe of Renu Anwa, to go to Neverlight Grove, the place where they have their greater meld and they continue their future generations. It's the Great Meld. Let's see here. After that, you learn that after the meld happens, after the final meld for the eldest of them, they basically are only husks, and death doesn't matter to them. They have a fundamental different view of how death works, and they offer to literally make a ladder up to the surface for you out of their dead husks, because they don't care, and they might as well help you because why not? They're good people, if you can call them people. So you left the Skyroom. You left the Skyroom, and you immediately went into a lush jungle cave. And inside that cave, you found some goodies. You found a couple broken down ancient ruins. You realized that the jungle did not used to exist. It's kind of like this invasive plant species that destroyed the original habitat. There was a little bit of lore there. Read some books, found some dinosaurs of all things. Narrowly escaped getting eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nearly got into a fight with a Stegosaurus mother. Narrowly escaped a pack of Allosaurs. And sort of fought / fended off a couple giant Venus flytraps.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that took most of the session, really. I mean, this is about the first half of the session. After we took a break, we came back and you engaged on a long distance travel, and we agreed that you were going to follow the normal speed mechanic, which meant that there is no penalties You can forage and you can cover your tracks, so you're still able to maintain your rations. You ended up dipping down to, I believe, 34 days of rations in total. Yep, you have 34 days of rations left, and you've surprisingly kept most of your ammunition. Well, not really that surprising. Lonnie's down like 1. So that's almost not even worth mentioning. You crossed a massive... I don't remember if I think you crossed through the magma flats and the salt flats, and then you encountered the crevasse, in which you all devised a method to harness the. You actually used a block and tackle to lower the Malps, which are these metal 6-wheeled vehicles, minus one that's missing a wheel. You lowered them down into the crevasse along with yourselves, and you got to the other side. We left off with you at the other side. I'm frankly not that interested in role-playing getting back up, unless you really want to. I feel like moving on is probably okay.
Yeah, we're bringing the Malps, though. Right?
You are bringing your Malps, yep. Y'all agreed you wanted to do that, and I'm not going to stop you.
Excellent.
And apparently you made
2 of us.
You made a dog sled for Atticus to pull.
Yes.
So that's got like some supplies on it. It's not like you really need the dog sled because you could use the Malps, but it doesn't hurt to have the dog sled. So I think
in addition to the Malps.
That's right. So loot found. Atticus has chainmail. So the dog has chainmail. He's slightly armored.
We have an armored battle hound.
I wouldn't have remembered that if Megan hadn't taken the notes. There's a broadsword, which Walt has.
Which I don't know why I took it. I'm pretty sure I have a rocket hammer and the vibroblade. So.
Well, you have the best carrying capacity. You don't necessarily have to use it.
Yeah.
Though I can imagine it would be pretty freaking cool if you charged in with a broadsword and just cleaved something in half. I mean, the vibroblade's shorter, I think.
It's a knife.
Oh, that's right. So a broadsword, can you imagine if you had just decided to like clear out that jungle with the broadsword? Just like swing. You could have just mowed the thing down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did that with my hands.
You kind of did.
I definitely did. I absolutely did.
On Megan's to-do list is get out of the crevasse, which we just agreed that you're going to do automatically. Keep going. And find more humans / make positive contact. And you got a little hint that there are some more people that you can run into if you keep your eyes open. Miscellaneous notes. Atticus has the sled. Something about a harness. That must be for the dog. There's very little food to forage where you are right now. It's practically bare stone. In fact, I think that's what I said it was. It's just bare stone. There's no food. So you're fine, but the Myconids are getting real hungry because they eat decaying material. Like they literally stand on a patch of rotten food or something, and that's how they feed. So they're getting hungry.
So the obvious solution is to shoot Corin. Oh, no.
Wow.
Well, if he's not playing anymore.
I hope you get a kick out of that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Tim.
Yes, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna play Note Taker this game, so
okay.
I'll have a note sheet. So this may take me a little. It may take me a little longer. It may not. I don't know how it's gonna go. Let's just put it this way: if there's dead space, it means I'm working on something I haven't forgotten.
Okay.
Character.
If there is dead space, we shall assume you have mortally perished.
Well, I mean, you can check the camera.
And I will take over at DMing the game.
You're gonna take over in the SGC. SG53. 3. Session number something something.
You haven't used the in-game calculator. I still put my number on there.
Oh, really?
I think so. It's 121.
April 22 to new. April 20 to new.
This is not the 22nd.
This is not the 22nd. This is the 30th.
I meant of 2022.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did clarify that on my note sheet. Okay, so let me brainstorm for a quick few seconds on what I want to happen first. So let's narrate what happens. So who is the most athletic among us?
Me.
I'm realizing I don't have all the character sheets in front of me like I want.
I have +6 to athletics with advantage.
What?
Yes, I'm an ODST. What do you expect?
Sorry, I
Come
had to.
on.
It'd only be better if I was Bullfrog.
Is this not character sheets? Do I not have the character sheets? Am I misprepared? Unprepared? Oh, well, that's Megan. I am a really good GM. This is abundantly clear. Bear with
Yes,
me.
you
I'm going to pull
are.
up the character sheets on my laptop so that I at
Wait,
least know.
what did you say? Angel, Spencer?
I mentioned that
What's your
my
athletics?
athletics is +6 with advantage.
How do you get advantage?
You know, good question.
It's usually
Probably-
a character specialization or
Yeah.
you took a perk, that sort of thing.
I think we kind of homebrewed it based on the fact that, well, ODST, like, it's like Ultra Navy SEALs, pretty much.
Yeah.
2,
Okay, well, I only
2,
have +6.
6.
Ultra Navy SEAls plot combined with like the most metal paratroopers ever.
I don't understand how this is possible, but the cat person is the least athletic out of all of you.
I never saw those guys as cats.
How? What's Lani?
No, she's got a 0, but Kornov has a -1. And then
Well, he goes against the grain of his species anyway.
he really does. Angel has a
With the
+6.
whole nose and everything. Yeah.
Walt has a +6. So, do either of you want to be the guys that climbed up to the top to like tie off the rope and pull everything up?
I say we roll for it.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I say Walt.
What if,
I say
what
Walt
if
does
we?
it because
Walt?
What if-
he doesn't suffer exhaustion.
That's true.
That's a good
That's
point.
fair.
My character does not.
I was
It
gonna
does.
recommend we like rolled off to see and like race up there.
I like that idea.
Little friendly competition between friends, man versus machine.
Can we?
Hey,
can you
Angel.
role play that? I would love to hear it.
Hey Angel, I bet I can beat you to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got, Tin Can?
Well, I've got oh,
Starts climbing.
How about it if you do a series of 3 d20
it's not
rolls?
fair.
If you do a series of 3 d20 rolls, 3 for each of you, and we'll see.
Uh-huh.
I'll like narrate what your position is or something. So we got
Wow. Good start.
okay.
Oh. Wait, never mind.
Go ahead and give your other 2 there. Oh, woo!
And oh, I just don't wait it. I swear.
Alright, so
Okay.
like Walt starts
Okay.
off super strong, and he
Yeah.
basically bounds up onto the
Ching,
stone,
ching,
onto
ching,
a ledge,
ching, ching,
and
ching,
throws
ching.
himself forward. And Angel takes hold of a rock, and it immediately just breaks underneath him. And he looks down at the ground. And he's like, "Wow, I'm not that fat." And then he jumps, and he grabs hold of a new perch and leaps like a cat further up the rock, and he passes Walt and gets nearly to the top. But Walt sees that and is like, I ain't having that. And he puts on an extra burst of speed, and the two of you reach the top at basically the same time. It's neck and neck. There's almost no difference. I would say Walt probably a little bit ahead.
One rock.
Well,
It's just barely far away enough. I had to stretch my arm, and I was just kind of sitting there like, wait, can I really do this? Can I not?
I think I clearly won that, but good game.
Yeah.
It's a great character bonding.
Great to have you on the team.
And you get all your rigging together for the block and tackle, and the folks down at the bottom, probably Steiner, I'm guessing, since he's, an organized mind.
If you two fools are done messing around,
yeah,
you need.
yeah. He
it.
starts securing the Malps on the rope, and he gives it a good tug. Like, all right, go ahead and pull them up. Walter, I think you're strong enough. You could probably just pull them all up with your sheer strength.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna bother having you roll. But do you want to role play that at all?
Kind of hard to role play pulling up characters that aren't there, aren't here.
Why?
I don't know.
He's made out of metal. He's just grunting because he feels like it.
I like to leave the door open even if you're not sure if you want to do it. Just because I think everyone has a different imagination, so...
So he's pulling them up, and then Angel's like, why are you grunting? And Walt just kind of stops, and he's like...
What did they program into you?
I don't rightly know. It's probably has to do with more humanization. And then he just keeps pulling silently.
That's funny. In a second while I adjust something. My music even playing? I can't even tell.
I notice it sometimes.
There we go. That's better.
Far more prominent.
That's a lot better. Cool.
At the moment, it's not too overpowering. Might change when the song changes.
It helps me think, and it kind of sets the mood for me, so that's why I like having it so much. Excellent job. You made it to the top, and the area in front of you is exactly the same as what you just traveled over. It's bare rock. There's probably a couple miles to go before this massive cavern that you're inside, which is several square miles. It finally draws to a close, but you're just guessing that you're probably about halfway across. There's no indication. It's still pretty dark. There's the occasional magma pool in the distance, but the glow doesn't go super far. So you can kind of see like a hanging mist over those little magma pools, like an orange mist. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Steiner, being the pointed and directed, calculated German Valkyrian man that he is like, well, we shall go this way, and he starts walking in the direction of what he presumes is the exit of the cave.
And I mean, Walt is not one to disobey authority figures, so he follows Steiner.
Come here, Walt.
Yes, sir.
Listen here, you bathtub. You shall take points. Okay.
Captain Geezer.
Aye, Captain. Let me grab some inspiration from my notes here so I give you something to look at.
Oh, sorry. Colonel Geezer.
Ooh, I've got a brilliant one. Okay, so you travel for about, let's say a couple hours. Made some really good headway. Great progress. And you encounter another crevasse, but this one's far more interesting. Right in front of you, you see this vast crossing, and it's a lot wider than the last one you just went across, and it's also really deep. This one actually goes so deep that you can't see the bottom. However, if someone wants to roll a perception check, I'll tell you what you see that's different about this place in a good way. because this is a far bigger challenge than the one you just passed.
Rolling perception.
I
Okay.
have.
That's reasonable. If Eli wants to do one as well, that's cool.
I did. I rolled a 10. I'm checking to see what.
I read the rolls backwards. Okay, I see now.
I have 9.
9?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot to add the number.
I was wondering. That 8 seemed a little low. Hey, that'll work. I was going to make it a basic 10 check.
And I still would have failed.
Yeah, okay, so I'll describe what Walt feels first, because it's a little different. So Walt, you pick up on something different than Angel does. Angel picks up what he sees. Walt's going to pick up a weird instrument flicker, basically. You sense that your compass is going crazy. Your compass is not only, inaccurate like it was before. Like before, you knew that north wasn't really north because you're not on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stands to reason. But instead of just pointing in a direction consistently, it starts moving back and forth, and occasionally it spins around a full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
What Angel sees in the dim light ahead of you is that there are these almost like stepping stones that are very slowly shifting and moving over the gap of the crevasse. And as you stand there and look more closely, you realize that these rocks are floating in the air. And they are only slightly moving. They occasionally bump into each other and then move a different direction. It's kind of like chunks of ice on top of a pond. If you were to translate that to take the water, make that just bare air, and take the ice and make those stones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is at the same level as the ground you've been walking on right now. Those floating stones.
Am I picking up any other electronic interference?
You get weirdly distorted readings. So you aren't able to really tell what's going on, but you know something's up.
Okay, I'm betting it's some kind of electromagnetic thing which is causing the rocks to levitate, which is really cool. That's a really awesome way of doing the floating rock thing.
Yeah, that is quite awesome.
Cool.
Also,
I like hearing that.
does my character know that there's some electromagnetic stuff? Because wouldn't my helmet have an internal compass?
I think you'd
yeah,
be more
it
of an
had-
expert on that than I would. What do you think?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I played ODST.
Okay. Then I would say then you since you got a better check, you'd probably be able to identify like right off the bat. Yeah, these rocks are magnetic and they're basically just levitating by magnetic opposing poles, I guess.
Okay, we're gonna cross this, and I don't know why we would, considering we're trying to go back the way we came, right? Or am I forgetting what we're trying to do?
Well, we can't go back the way we came, can we?
Oh, right.
Not yet, no. You're trying to get to Neverlight Grove first. That's like
Right.
Yeah.
destination right now.
Scratch that last whole thing I said.
Oh,
We're
no
gonna try to
problem.
get across. We're gonna need to see how reliable these things are.
Agreed.
So,
I'll give you a little more information because I didn't give you enough to move. There are a lot of them that are probably the size of like a house. They're probably a little bit closer to like the middle of the crevasse / ravine, and then there's some smaller ones that are probably like car sized that are in between you and it. And the rate at which they move is less than 1 mile an hour. It's very slow. They're just basically just drifting, almost like there's a slight wind that might be pushing them, and they're just kind of bouncing around like hockey pucks on an ice rink.
Ooh, that could hurt.
I think if you were to assess the danger of them, like if you were on one when another one collided, you'd probably feel a slight bump, but it wouldn't be enough to like knock you off your feet or anything like that.
Okay.
And I'll also note that there is no sign of really any There's no
Other
sign
way
that
around.
other people have been here recently either. I just wanted to mention that. If that helps.
Was there a different way we could have gone?
Potentially. You are not sure if this ravine actually extends the full width like the other one did. The other one, you were sure you had to cross it. This one, it's not so obvious.
Well, how far? How would we find that out then?
Do you want to do a knowledge check of some sort, and I can give you an idea?
Sure.
Let's see which one would be most applicable. I would think probably... I was almost going to say nature. Oh, yeah, nature is a skill. You can do nature or survival, I think.
Probably nature, depending on what it is. Yes, I get 8.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to really be that well schooled in nature, really, for this sort of a challenge. So I'd say that's a pass. Your best idea is to follow the ravine parallel along the side and see how far it goes.
Okay.
Might as well do that. Can't think of anything better unless you want to risk your circus getting fried by all the magnetism.
No, thank
Whatever
you.
that
Not
works out
today.
That's a fair concern.
Yeah.
Okay. You walk for 30, 45 minutes, something around that, and you come across a natural stone bridge across the crevasse. And it is large. It is wide enough that you can walk safely across without fear of falling. The Malps will be able to cross over it without it breaking. And it's a pretty smooth path, believe it or not. It's almost as if somebody created it, except it's definitely natural. No signs that life have been here either, apart from the occasional, maybe small mushroom sprout.
How can we roll to check how solid the bridge was?
Absolutely. Let's do another nature check for that.
Because I don't want this to be like a
Game ending.
bridge. Oh, 20.
Oh my gosh.
Well done.
That's a waste of a 20.
It really is, because it's absolutely safe. It's completely solid. You'll be just fine in crossing it.
That is a waste of a 20.
Well, at least you know that. At least you have peace of mind, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna just write this down here. Found a natural bridge to cross.
Mr. Angel, you said something?
Nothing.
No. Okay.
Are you sure?
Well,
I think he would know. Very nice. Well, you cross the bridge, and shortly off into the distance, you can see a soily patch of dirt, and there's a little bit of water, and there's some shrooms.
A soily patch of dirt?
Soily, as in like soil.
As opposed to unsoiled dirt?
Well, I'm comparing it to the stone, so.
okay.
There's actually a.
bridge.
I don't know if you know that there's actually a difference between soil and dirt. Dirt is just like zero nutrient, dusty. It's
Makes sense.
compound versus soil has nutrients in it, and it's like nutritionally dense. It's maybe has some water in it. It's probably capable of having life. Guanwa takes his tribe over there, and they immediately go and stand on the patch of soil. And Guanwa tells you as he's going over there, he says, I think we need to make a rather large stop here because I'm starting to get really tired and I feel hungry, and the rest of my people are not looking very good right now. And so we need some sustenance, and this is the closest thing we found to it for a while. And
How long will that take?
well, he's thinking probably a few hours, so that they can at least kind of restore some of
Okay.
they're low
Fair
key
enough.
starving, and so they just need to eat basically.
Yeah. Internally,
Yeah.
Angel's concern was that like their species kind of like rest was like the equivalent of 6 human days or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can we translate that actor?
I don't know if I'm blanking on that or if I never talked about it, but that sounds accurate. I guess they just need to eat for a little bit, just for a few hours.
That's fine.
Okay. And we don't know how long of it.
Well, so mushrooms pull nutrients out of detritus that's in the soil, rotting material,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a timely process. So they just need a little time to do that. But they should be good.
Is the soil damp or wet?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
it
There's a
just-
little bit of moisture to it.
Okay. And, like, is there any visible source of that moisture?
You could do investigation if you'd like, or
Yes.
or nature again. I'll take either of those.
I think they're both the same.
They are. So
I got a 7.
you look around and you don't see any water sources that are exposed. You do see a couple stalactites and stalagmites, and you think, well, maybe the water's falling from the ceiling, but you don't hear any drips or anything. Despite all that, you notice a somewhat well-worn path in the stone and in the soil. It's kind of like this terrain seems to be changing now that you've crossed over this ravine. You're going into a new sort of terrain. It's not nearly as rocky as before. It's not quite as barren. It looks a little bit more hospitable to life. And that path is what you find, even though you're looking for water sources.
Okay, and it's definitely a path.
Yeah, there's like how do I put this? You know how when rock gets well traveled, it kind of gets dusty and white looking,
So, yeah.
Sure.
like when it gets scratched up. It
Oh,
almost
yeah.
yeah. It kind of looks like there are hoof marks that made those scratches in the stone, and then when you look in the soily areas, you're kind of confirmed. Oh yeah, that's a split hoof. So there's definitely some animals that have been traveling through here.
Ah. So we stumbled upon the public crest.
Yeah.
How large would you say these prints are?
If you were to put your hand down to the soil, the hoof print would probably be about half the size of your hand.
Okay, so like a small deer or something.
Yeah, and you two are from Earth. You might be familiar with some tracking if you want to try to.
Are you kidding? My character's from Reach, I think.
Oh, is that so different from Earth that it wouldn't have Earth animals?
No, it actually looks a lot like Highland Mountain area in Europe. At least the place you see in the game. There's
Okay.
other places that are kind of more deserty, but
I feel like
A lot of it's very
you might
earthy.
you might be qualified to try if you want to. If you want to investigate that, it's fine. I won't push you.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know, and
Don't think
Walt
my character's too
is
interested.
ironically not the best person for tracking, despite having been known as.
all right. Well, let's put it this way: Frederick Steiner is interested because I want him to be interested, and
yes,
so he's
yes.
gonna walk over. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I changed my mind. He's gonna walk over and he's gonna roll. And where are my dice? Here are my dice.
Going to poke at the hoof prints and be like, ooh.
Well, he rolled a 4. Let's see what his
Oh.
investigation or nature is. He... Oh my gosh. He's got a +4. So that's an 8.
Well, wait, can we have the dog Atticus, right? Can the dog help him?
Yeah, well, I like to roll DCs on unclear things, and I just did, and he gets a pass. So he notices that the split hoof is roughly a goat hoof. So there's your answer to that. I should write down that you found this. Mike
We
Nids.
found a goat hoof.
Mike Nids found food.
So did we.
And SG-53 found a wild animal trail.
Man, you really are a minute taker.
Well,
Speaking of
yeah, I am.
food,
I am.
I'm gonna go see if there's anything to eat.
Okay, do you want me to continue?
Good luck.
All right, well, I will continue anyway.
Okay.
After Steiner kneels down and looks, he's like, "Oh, okay, that looks like goats to me." He gets up and he's like, "We're gonna be here a few hours, and by my watch," and he like looks up at his arm. He's like, "It's roughly night anyway. What do you? I think we ought to set camp and probably make a good meal." And I think I'm gonna put Koronov and Lonnie on foraging detail. So he gives them orders. He's like, "I want you to spread out, pick any mushrooms you can find. If they are different types, keep them separated so they aren't touching. Bring them back, and we'll have Walt analyze them with his internal encyclopedia. You just make sure that it's something we're familiar with that is edible and not poisonous, And they fan out, and the two of them, and they're gone for about 15 minutes. They come back, and they have a rough assortment of mushrooms. There's a couple morels, there's a couple portobellos, some shiitakes, some turkey tail, some I can't remember what it's called, coriollops or something like that. And that's all from Lonnie, and Koronov comes back and he's got a bunch of poisonous mushrooms, and he's got a couple hallucinogenic ones, and Frederick's like, no, even I recognize those. Toss those away.
Go to the bridge, throw them over the pit.
That Koronov walks over to the bridge and tosses over the inedible shrooms that he picked, and Lonnie comes together and starts making this bowl of mushroom stew for you, and end up dining on it, and it's pretty tasty, and it's a nice consistency. It takes a little bit of your rations, so you're down to like, I don't know. I'll say you're still at 34 days, but you had to use some of your MRE stuff and some water. But now you're all nice and hydrated and fed, and it's roughly time to go to bed. And Steiner is gonna ask for someone to be guard. Stand guard.
All volunteers as natural.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Are we in agreement there?
Fine with me.
Cool. Walt, I'm gonna check your sheet here. Actually, I was gonna have you do something, but I changed my mind. Okay. Walt, you hear round about midnight. You hear a sounds like wings, like bats' wings, but big, really big.
Can I tell where?
It's above you.
Oh.
Typically where winged creatures are.
Yes. Are my comrades all in tents? Or
Yeah, they pitched tents. They're all asleep, and you've been on guard for a few hours. In fact, your shift is probably ending soon.
Can I use my sensors to detect anything above me?
Absolutely.
Would that be perception?
What kind
Would
of
that be
perception?
Perception
I-
or investigation?
Probably perception, but it'd probably be perception. But what kind of sensors you want to use? I'm curious. Like, do you want to use vision? Do you want to use your auditory system? Do you want to
Would I have anything that tracks heat? Or
That's what I was
detects heat?
thinking. I think you have some sort of infrared. I'm pretty sure you have infrared as part of TARS, like the as part of the interstellar model. You got what I was alluding to. Go ahead and roll for it. Okay.
10.
You have a -1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize that. You look up, and you see that this, well, let me describe what you don't see, basically. Like, when you're looking with heat vision, you only see things that are warm. So anything that's cold is basically black. So you see an emptiness of black above you, save for one thing. About 200 feet above you, there are these little kind of warm, so they're like blue in infrared vision. They're blue, they're not red. Like red would be super hot. But blue is like, there's some warmth there, but it's not really warm. You see these little cones on the ceiling. There's probably about 15 of them up there, and they're in varying sizes, varying different placements. The tip is pointed down, and as you're looking up, you see one of them detach from the ceiling, drop a few feet, spread out what look like are wings, and start gliding with its pointed head pointed up, gliding down to within probably a stone's throw of you, flapping its wings, and when it gets closer, you're able to notice more detail with the infrared vision. And this thing has a face with about 50 eyeballs on it, staring at you. And as it flies over your head, you can see that it's basically like it's almost like a tent-shaped creature, and inside of what would be like underneath the tent is a large gaping mouth with lots of teeth. And it flies over towards where the myconids are, and then goes back up to the ceiling and perches again. That's what you see.
That's disturbing.
And how many of them are there?
There's about 15.
Sounds like a vision of revelation.
Holy cow. Well, that's...
Am I wrong, though?
And, well, what do you mean they're tent-shaped?
Yeah, it's really hard to describe what I've got in my...
Like, do you mean, like, their chest is, like, hollow?
I know what I can do. I can draw you a picture, because I got a camera. Spencer, are you able to see the camera, too?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, one moment while I do that. This is going to be a pretty poor drawing, but you'll get the idea.
Forgetting I'm actually on
Was it
camera.
bad of me to say that revelation crack? I feel like it was bad of me somehow.
No.
I mean, he does describe some of the angels having like a bunch of wings and a bunch of eyes.
Yeah.
I never really caught on to the numbers. I just know that they had different, varying numbers of each.
I know, like, the cherubim have eyes all over their bodies.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And miracle is even perceptible at all.
Almost done. Thank you for your patience.
Okay. You're welcome. Your drawing is very important.
It's like
to
in a,
us,
it's
so
like
we will
a,
hold the line.
it's like in a video game when you have like a loading screen elevator,
Uh-huh.
and you know, like in Mass Effect 1, where it's like sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes the elevator shaft is a lot longer than other times.
I'm just making sure to give you some details so that you can actually understand what I'm saying. I don't quite want to give you the actual like canon image yet. I want to give you the drawing first.
Oh.
Is it right side for you? It's backwards on my end, but I think you
Whoa.
can see it. So that's the side view.
Okay.
You see all those eyes?
Gotta see it.
That's the bottom view.
Oh. Oh, this is a nasty creature then.
So this is like a flying squid.
It's kind of like a squid.
Okay, you said tent. It's more like kind of like a teepee-ish tent.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Walt does not like these.
Yeah, I wouldn't like them either,
has
frankly.
Decided.
I wouldn't like them either. And I gotta grab my monster manual because I can't remember what they're called.
Oh no.
Man, you'd think it's kind of weird that these things evolved at all, considering it would have to eat somehow, and it wouldn't even be able to see what it's eating.
Well, I mean, there's lots of things that don't need to see what they're eating.
I mean, I guess we don't entirely see what we're eating once it's in our mouth, but like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I found
maybe I
it.
should just shut up there.
My drawing's a little bit off, but it'll do. It's not exactly correct.
That'll do, pig. That'll.
Once we get further, I'll tell you what it is once we get further, if you don't know already.
No, I don't.
It's an actual genuine D&D creature,
Yeah.
so...
Yep, I picked that up.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
That's
what you see.
Yeah, I want to keep watching those things.
Okay. As time goes on in the next few minutes, a few more of them do similar things. They don't quite get as low. They're kind of like how bats will perch on the roof of a cave, and then they'll occasionally get down, stretch their wings, and then come back. So that's kind of what's going on.
Now, do they have wings or are those tentacles? Can I tell?
It's like both, weirdly. I don't know how to describe it. They can fly, but they also have tentacle appendages on the ends of... Yeah. They almost kind of fly like a squid would swim.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah, they're very
it's horrible.
otherworld. So, Walt, I think your watch is coming to an end, unless you want to do a whole night.
Well, why wouldn't I?
Because you have to recharge. You have the same need for rest as humans, just for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
We established this multiple sessions ago.
Yes, I know. But wouldn't I have rested while everyone else was eating?
You could have, but it would have been a very short rest.
Dang it. Okay, I guess I will go wake up Angel.
Okay. Angel does not
Why,
know what you saw.
I'm gonna wake up Angel for his shift,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
tell him
And-
hey, there's some demon squids up on the cavern ceiling. Just be careful.
There's a moment of relief for Angel if Walt's sensors detect human emotion in any way, because as soon as you say demon squids, I'm like, what, the squid heads? It's a reference to elites. But then he says they're on the ceiling, and I'm like, okay.
You had a little PTSD.
Not quite that, but yeah.
You okay there, Mr. Angel?
Well, good thing you didn't say split jaws. That would be very clear. But yeah, I'll go to the perch, presumably the same place Walt was at, and just if there's a good rock or something, I'll sit the bipod up and just kind of take a look around.
Okay. I think you also have some sort of a night vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd be able to see him just in a different way. By looking at him with your normal vision and a little bit, got the green glow of the night vision. Unless, is it white? Is it white phosphorus for the ODST, or is it green?
Nah, it's this kind of these kind of slight yellow outlines that have green outlines for allies and red for
Oh yeah, that's right.
enemies.
We talked about this.
and then a kind of neon yellow-green for objectives.
Okay, so you
Oh, and
see
blue for weapons.
you see
For
them
visuals.
they're these black canvas creatures with red eyes, and they have a red outline around them, and they they're doing the same thing as they were doing before. They're kind of like diving, looking at the myconids, and then going back up. It's almost like they're determining, are these things food? Nah, they don't look like food. And then going back up to the top. So that happens roughly like, I guess you got a few hours. It doesn't happen a ton of times, but they're definitely like, they're animals. They're checking out what's the myconids. They don't seem to have any interest in you, and they just keep repeating that pattern over and over and over until what would be morning breaks and the rest of your team starts to wake up and get going. Frederick Steiner's alarm goes off or whatever. He goes beep beep beep. All right, everybody, let's get this row on the showed.
That is not a Steiner accent at all.
No, that's a Danielism.
Nice.
He rouses everybody, and he gets them on. Come on, get you on your feet. Let's get these tents down. And Lonnie,
that's too nice for him. You need to be meaner.
Lonnie, is there any stew left from last night? And the die says, no, nat 1. Wow, you must have been super hungry last night. She's like, no, there's no food, so crack open an MRE.
It was so good, even Walt had some.
That's saying something. Okay, so you all crack open an MRE, and it's like, all right, well, I think we ought to follow the path and let's see where it takes us, because I trust the animals better than not following anything. So you get all your stuff together, and you start heading down that path, and it doesn't take long before the scenery changes again. You're no longer in Bearstone. You're back into a kind of a sparsely populated mushroom forest again, but they're very different mushrooms than last time. These mushrooms are probably close to 50 feet tall and about 3 to 4 feet in diameter. They're big hunkin' things. They're like trees. These are the trees of the underworld.
Is this just Arc Aberration?
No, it's similar, but no. The trees start to get more dense, and new varieties start showing up, like this much smaller ones that they're a lot shorter. They're not quite as wide. They're different varieties, and
I lean over to one of the mushroom people, and I'm like, "Are these things, kid?"
Are they?
Oh.
I mean, we have walking mushrooms. I just want to know if it's possible for this entire forest to just kind of
Get up and walk.
My guy only met aliens that wanted to kill him, and even I'm more culturally sensitive than that.
Well,
it's not programmed to be culturally sensitive.
The tiny button mushroom myconid you talk to, who's about 2.5 feet tall, looks up at you with 0 eyeballs, but with what you could assume is an unassuming face, is completely unfazed by what you said, and telepathically communicates with you by spore, saying, "Nope."
And I don't understand because I'm a machine.
Yes. So the message is completely lost. I forgot about that part.
That was on purpose.
Well, at least he wasn't offended, but you have no idea that he was not offended. Okay, let me write down what's happened. Found forest. Alright, so along with the forest, you find a couple tributary streams that are very small, and they're flowing kind of slowly, and they follow the path. The ground starts to become more uneven. There's more hills, there's more valleys. There's no more stone on the ground. I mean, there's stone around you on the walls and on the ceiling, but the walls and the ceiling are starting to get covered with like vines and moss and mycelium, that sort of thing. So you're starting to come into a more lush area.
Wait, there's mycelium on the ceiling? Is that mycelium?
Oh dear. Yes.
Our poor viewership. All tens of you.
You round the bend, and in front of you is a massive lake. And you see the lake, and down at the end of this path, would you believe it, but there's a dock with a raft.
I'm sorry, that took me a second to realize the significance of it. I was like, dock with a raft. Huh. Does it look kind of ancient-ish like the other stuff we found? Or medieval?
No, it's very fresh. It's made of chopped down mushroom tree logs. Both the raft and the dock. They're very similar build. They're made out of that mushroom tree timber. And, well, you aren't really... I mean, you don't really see much more than that right now, but you just caught a glimpse of it. I mean, it's probably 100 yards away from you. I'll leave off on the exposition to let you decide how you want to move forward, and then I can take over again if you want.
Well, I want to ask one of my teammates, like, ask the mushrooms if they know anything about that.
Are you gonna get a translator for you, since they can't talk back?
Yes.
How about we sub in Lonnie for that?
Yes, that was my thoughts exactly.
There we go. So you convey that to Lonnie, and she's, oh, that's a great idea. And she goes and she like squats and sits next to that one button mushroom that you asked earlier. She's like, do you know anything about this? Do you know the significance of this? And it responds...
Are you saying button mushroom?
Button mushroom, yes.
Okay, the O-N isn't coming through.
Oh, oh, do I need to turn up the gain? Is there a problem with my mic?
No, it's... I don't know.
Maybe I was just mumbling. It says, no, I mean, I knew there were going to be people down here. One of the guides comes up and interrupts because he knows a little bit more, and I get that guide is kind of not the right word because they really don't know where they're going. He's just more familiar with the general like makeup of the underworld. Yeah,
the region in general.
Yeah, and he says, well, we do know that there is a large lake called Lolth's Tear, and that it must be crossed in order to continue the journey. It is not affected by the living stone.
I'm starting to see kind of a problem. Vaults, plus our melts, are very, very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And that... hold on, how big does this raft look?
Okay, so that's a really good question. How do I describe it?
Yeah,
it could be like,
is this like a gondola?
It could be like a little dinghy, or it could be like a sloop or even a galleon.
It's a perfectly flat and square log raft, and it's one that would be propelled with poles. The water is very still, so there's no issue with water coming aboard. It's the logs are very sturdy and big, so it's very buoyant. And I would say it's about 20 feet by 10 feet in size.
Okay.
So that's freaking huge, by the way, for a raft.
Oh.
Like you could fit you could fit a car on there if you wanted to.
So it must be
true.
immensely buoyant.
You could fit a car on there, it doesn't mean it'd float.
Maybe I ought to do Lonnie. Have Lonnie do a check on this one.
Yeah.
She's the
engineer.
scientist. Do science. Yeah, she's got a +5, so that's a good. She should be able to figure it out. 16. Okay, so she as you're getting closer, she's analyzing it, and she says, we're not there yet, so I can't be certain, but this thing looks like it'd be able to hold us.
Melps and all?
Yeah, I think so. It might be tight, and we might be a little cramped, but I don't think the weight bearing is going to be a problem.
Maybe I can sit on top of one of them. Maybe some of us can sit on top of
That's a good idea.
the Melps.
That's a good idea.
Conserve some space.
Or
We don't
we
knock
could
somebody
make.
into the water.
We could just make multiple trips.
We could do that if
Yeah.
any of these guys are afraid, except I don't think they really would be. They don't seem like they care about fear.
Mm-hmm.
Remarkable.
Okay. This is the part where I realize I need my GM notes. So I will pull those up.
Okay. There is like a paddle or something, right?
Say that again?
There's something to paddle the raft.
You can't see one right now, actually.
Oh, is it tied to the dock?
Yes, it's currently tied to the dock. You're still about 50 yards away, so it's still kind of distant. I'm not going to bring you right up to it unless you want me to, because I don't want to be assuming. So, do you want to come up next to it?
Mr. Angel, I think the smart thing to do would be for one of us, perhaps the one of us who is trained in reconnaissance, to do some reconnaissance. Since the mushrooms obviously didn't build it. So, but
All
someone
right.
had to.
I don't know how to say it, other than I guess I can do some recon,
Yeah.
whatever that would actually entail.
Perfect.
You just like sneak up there.
I mean, yeah. Look around the area, see if there's any other signs of life, sentient life, or important life, such as the creature that wants to kill us.
Mm-hmm. It is water, so there might be like a watering. There might be like a watering.
But Dan said it was still. You really think it'd be still if there was a bunch of little angry fishies down there, or like a megalodon
That's
or
a
anything?
good point. Or no, I mean like that there might be animals that come to it to drink.
Oh yeah, or people.
Do I understand that Angel's gonna get closer and take a look? Is that what's gonna happen?
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Perfect. Why don't I have you
Or I
do?
roll not one and I just get lazy or something.
Let's see.
All right.
I'll take a perception or investigation, whichever you prefer, because it's kind of hits both. I'm not gonna bother having you roll stealth because
perception.
you're already
Big time.
perception. Okay. You're already super stealthy, so I'm not gonna have you roll stealth.
Hog. Oh wait, I gotta.
And sorry for the lack of maps.
It's fine.
No worries.
I've honestly been looking at the face cam more than I have the map.
Me
This
too,
whole time,
actually.
so I really don't understand why. It's like, I think it's just because my left monitor is easier for me to kind of tip my feet up and look at.
I haven't. I like watching the game tape, which we haven't used. But oh well.
I'm actually going to draw something for you guys now, because I haven't yet. Oops.
You doing it in MS Paint?
I'm going to do it in the game. I just can't remember. Oh, there we go. That's how you make it bigger. Yes. Okay, that's the walls of the cave. And we're going to do color blue for the water. Apply. And this is going... Whoa! Okay, apparently cannot do eclipses. I don't want that. I want to hand draw this one, apparently. Let's see. Well, you entered in from this corner. We'll say you came from this corner where the blue arrow is. and you see the lake, and it reaches all the way to the edge. There, comes around. All right, and so there's some land. Why is that there? Did I do that? Hi, Eli. I know what you're doing.
It is a pretty big lake, right?
It is a big lake. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Can I go ahead and color it in?
Yeah. Do you want to color in these spots? Yeah. Yeah. I guess you could color in the lake. Great. Thank you. The rest of this is dirt, so I guess if you want to, you can fill that in with dirt too. That way you got something to do. I'll draw the dock. I'll make that in red so that you can easily see it.
Using the basic blue.
What's that about blue?
Using the basic blue right now.
Yeah.
He is, yes. That's the dock you can see, and the path is going to be... I'll do the path in black.
I'll make little tiny lines.
There you go. All right, there's your makeshift map.
I think you need to draw them on top of what I've already drawn, Spencer.
His pencil's a lot smaller. If you press the plus button, it'll make your pencil bigger.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but it's on the process of. But I'm drawing over his stuff
Oh, I see.
on accident.
That's fine.
because
I don't care.
Promote.
Well, but it won't be seen then.
Promote. I don't know if that helps.
I only accidentally made like a couple of lines.
I love this. I'm outsourcing the map creation to my players. Why has no DM ever thought of this before?
Probably because for battle scenarios it would end up
A
hilariously
disaster.
I
Okay.
mean, I would do my best to make sure it didn't go that way.
I believe you.
But thank you.
Yeah.
It makes it easy.
Moving on to Angel. Did he roll? I can't remember. Did you roll?
Oh, 15.
15. Okay,
I said
perfect.
it in the chat because it disappeared by now.
You get there. There's nobody around. There's a small shack in a little group of trees right... let's draw it in red. Apply. There's a little shack right there. You get close enough to look inside. Nobody's home. You see that there's a pole on the raft for pushing the raft across the water. This appears to be a ferry of some sort. Like, it's definitely...
Like
It's
ferry.
supposed to go a specific direction, and there's actually a rope strung out across the lake that the raft follows. So you can actually grab onto the rope and pull as well. So there's a pole and there's a rope.
Okay.
And, I mean, somebody obviously lives in this hut, but they haven't been here in the last hour or so. I mean, there's definitely signs that they've been here today.
Like
Okay,
what?
so we should probably find this person so we don't like take away their boat.
This is good thinking. Let's see here. There's inside the hut. There is a smell, and it's wafting out. You can see little puffs of steam coming out the front door, and it smells to you like kind of like the mushroom stew you had the other last night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that helps you.
Wait, you say that again?
There's a smell of mushroom stew coming out of the hut. So,
And we know for sure no one's inside?
yeah.
So it might just be a matter of waiting then for them to come back.
That would be reasonable. You would think that to be reasonable. Thank you, Eli.
I mean, I don't want to violate, this person's property.
Right. Well, I
Property
mean...
laws are very important in the underworld.
What did you say?
Private property laws are very important in the underworld.
I mean, well, it's not quite that. It's just that my character's had enough of foreign people destroying their stuff, and I'm not. That has some really weird, has some really bad connotations. Crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean aliens. I mean the Covenant.
If you do another investigation check, I will let you know if you see some more helpful things.
All right. Let me see my actual
Walt
stats.
is just going to go sit next to the door and wait and have the
baby.
nice, like coward nap.
Typing in chat, just so you can have it read your reference. INV is investigation.
Perfect.
I just make
Okay,
it
you see you see some footprints going off to the north. I'll draw an arrow so that you know which way's north. There you go.
Cool.
So there's some footprints going north. I will also make. I'll give you some footprints here. How's that? They're not that big, but obviously, with a little exploration, you find that they are going that direction. I don't know how much you want to look, but that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I guess since I'm on the trail, I think I'll just go follow it.
Perfect. All right. So
I think you take Koronov with you.
Yeah,
If
Koronov
you
comes
feel like
with.
it.
Sure, Koronov will come with. And you as you get
He's
right
the
about
diplomat.
here, you start to hear humming, and it's kind of a high voice, and it's just humming. And you walk around the corner, and you scare the living daylights out of a little goblin.
Goblin.
Greetings, comrade, says Gordon.
Wait! What are you doing here? Who are you? Don't scare me like that! My poor heart!
Apologies.
Your hut is fine.
My bad.
We were just wondering if you could ferry us across this lake. You have a pretty large group, and first off, some of us need to get out of here. Other of us have to do whatever they're gonna do, but
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. He goes, well, everyone's well, let's go back to my hut. I guess I got enough mushrooms. So he says, he gestures, follow him, and he starts basically running towards the hut. like this guy is, you can't tell if he's in a rush or if this is just how he normally moves, but he just starts sprinting towards the hut.
And I assume he outpaces them?
Oh, well, he's pretty short, so... let's just say a fast walk, you're able to keep pace with him easily. And he's in a sprint.
So how far ahead of them is he?
A couple paces.
Okay.
And
So-
you get
so-
to the hut
so-
quickly, because he's not... You weren't that far from the hut. You were like 30 seconds walk.
Walt is like, Xeno detected.
Alright. Gosh, I really wish there was a discipline check to see how you would respond. If you wanted to leave it up to chance.
No, he,
I guess it would
well,
be wisdom.
yeah, it would be like wisdom, but he just like goes into not combat ready mode, but like alert mode, I guess. Like he's prepared to spring into action.
Okay, fair enough. You get back to the hut quickly, and he tosses all the shrooms that he has into a little basket, and then he turns around and looks at you. He's not out of breath at all. It's like he didn't run at all, and he says, "So what can Jin Jib do for ya?"
Sorry, what was your name?
Jin Jib.
Okay, well, we need to get across this lake, and we see you have a raft here, and you already have it set up,
Do we really
and we didn't
need
want to just
his
use it
help? Oh.
without you being there, without you knowing. So I came to come ask you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. I tried to say kind, but I don't know if that word came out right.
Yeah.
Kind. There we go. This is a hard voice. I'm apparently not good at doing goblin voices.
An angel isn't good at talking to people. We're all out of our own.
We all have our own problems. Okay, well, he says, well, I can come with you and then just bring my boat back. It's no problem. Are you hungry? I have some stew.
That
I'm
depends on everyone
fine.
else. I'm okay, I think.
You're fine? Okay. Uh-oh. What just happened? And we're back. Okay, so you're like, we'll pass on the food, but thanks anyway. And he's like, okay. And he starts shoveling hot, steaming hot stew right into his mouth, like the little impatient dude he is, and gets it just all over his face. And he grabs a rag and wipes it off. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Get on the raft. And he like runs out the door. He's just, come on. We don't have all day.
The Steiner is probably like, I like this one's efficiency.
I think he would say that. Do you want to get on the raft? I don't want to force you.
Well, yes.
Okay.
I mean, we did just ask him.
Okay. Just checking.
Let's send the mushrooms across first.
First? Are you sending anyone with them?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let's send Koranov.
Okay.
You really just want him dead, don't you?
No.
You're thinking if something bad is on the other side, at least Coronel will go first. I'm calling you out.
It's all in the name of good roleplay. So it's fine. But yes.
One more moment, sorry.
Fine.
Switch into another playlist of music because that one ran out.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why we send Koranov first.
Sounds a little more
See-
eerie than it really should be. You're not in like this spooky place or anything yet. Okay, so he Jinjib goes on board with them, and Koranov and Lonnie hops on too. Koranov and Lonnie go with the shrooms. They get across the lake. It takes about 20 minutes. You are out of contact with them for about 20 minutes, other than radio contact with Lonnie. And she reassures you, yeah, we're almost there, it's fine. Almost there, it's fine.
And then suddenly...
Jinjib comes back for you. He says, come on, we do have all day! He really wants you on there. And you have enough space. You can fit the rest of you and the Malps and Jinjib. No problem. Space left. Room to spare.
Excellent.
And you get on, and you get halfway across the lake. Oh, stop. You get halfway across the lake, and Jinjib stops paddling, or using the stick, and he says, that wasn't there! And he points, and you see there's a bunch of dead fish floating on the surface towards you.
Uh-oh.
They just start, it's this big school of fish, and they're all dead. All dead.
Oh, no.
And there's some weird, like, bubbles coming up out of the lake off in the distance. And you can see a mist starting to rise over the water. And Jinjib, let's just put it this way: he's smart enough to realize like something's up, and he doesn't like it. So he doubles the pace. He's like, "Can someone help pull so that I can get us there faster.
Yeah, I'm gonna immediately start helping him pull.
Yes, and Walt will help.
Okay, so now you're flying across the water because you got two strong dudes pulling the thing, and Jinjib's almost doing nothing at this point with the pole.
And Steiner is like, faster!
Steiner's looking with his binoculars, and he...
Yes, that makes more sense.
Let's see, what does he see? He doesn't see much for a moment. Then all of a sudden you hear a... And behind you, a stream of water shoots up and comes down, and you feel just this really high heat coming off of it. Like you're not even close enough to get splashed, but you felt a wave of heat from that. And bubbles start rising around you now. And you keep going, and you're about 3/4 of the way across the lake. And that same sort of splash or stream shooting up is happening in other parts of the lake now. Not really like, it never really shows up twice in the same spot.
Oh, it's like geothermal vents or something.
Yeah, you're
That's
starting
what I was gonna say.
Yeah. There's these geysers going up out of the water. And whoever of you is the most adept at like nature stuff puts two and two together. Oh, so the reason the fish are dead is because there's all this carbon dioxide in the water and it killed the fish. And there's literally volcanic activity happening in this lake right now. And Jinjib has not seen this before. It's like his breath's taken away. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's in the dark completely. He doesn't really understand what's happening. I also forgot to mention, there's like bioluminescence on the roof of this cave, so you can actually see what's going on. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh.
That sounds like a really pretty view.
Yeah,
What
it's
a convenient,
going for this.
What a convenient
Situation.
it's pretty bright in there for being underground. And you get to the other shore, and the Myconids are all just sitting there like nothing's happening. And Lonnie and Koronov are gesturing to you like, "Hey, get off the raft! Quick, get off the raft!" And
to get off the raft.
yeah, you all get on shore, and another bigger geyser goes off, and the water's so just really disturbed, and the line that you guys have been pulling on snaps, and the raft starts to drift out into the middle of the lake, and Jinjib's on there, and he's like, "Ah!"
Wait, he's still on the raft?
Well, he was going to go back home.
Oh.
Through this?
He's gone.
I'm not gonna stop him. I'm not gonna stop him, but I expected him to be more rational.
Well,
He really is a patient. You're wrong. What the hell?
but you see him correct his craft, and he gets going, and he's the speedy little guy he is. He disappears in the distance, and you don't hear any more screaming across the lake or anything. So it's probably safe to assume he made it back, but...
Oh,
Well, good thing we didn't
I
need to
thought you
pay
meant
him.
no more screaming as in he was dead.
Oh, no, he's alive!
I was gonna say, can I use my scope to just check on him?
Yeah, you
on
take
him.
a look, and it's a little hard to see with the mist, but you can see a little creature scurrying up on the other side of the lake bank.
What happened? Angel,
I
what
was
happened? Did he make
using
it?
the scope's thermal vision, but then I realized, wait, it's just
Yeah,
gonna be really just like bright.
Angel, what do you see? Did he make it?
Yeah, he's alright.
Darn.
Physically.
Whoosh! Another geyser goes off, and his raft gets hit and just splinters to pieces. And Jinjib runs out of his little hut and goes, "Ah!" Screaming, shaking his arms all over the place, starts jumping up and down angrily. He's just royally just peeved that his raft is gone.
And from across the lake, I'll say, yeah, I'm gonna double down on the fine physically statement I made. Physically.
Psychologically, there might be something wrong with that guy. Yeah.
I thought that from the beginning though. So
There you go. The raft is now broken.
Oh, thank you for doing that. I think Jinjib will really appreciate that his raft is broken.
No.
probably gonna think it was us somehow.
So when you
Well-
come back, I'm gonna have to come up with a much more interesting way for you to get back, and I think I have an idea already, but I don't want to forget.
Okay.
I really don't want to forget because
Well, at least we don't have to pay the little sucker.
What would he even accept? Do you think there's any stores around here you could buy food or tools from?
I don't know.
one of the shrooms taps you on the shoulder and points behind you, and there's a shop. It says Grok's Trading Post.
Oh,
Or not
I'm not kidding. I had that planned before you made that comment. That was not ad lib. I had that planned.
I thought you were joking. That is the most ironic thing that's happened in D&D to me.
Poor little Jinjib
Everything
is
betrayed.
stuck on his side of the lake, but at least you got a trading post and you're safe. So,
I mean, now he has no way to get like whatever he gets from this person, Rock.
out of Grok's trading post walks a. Oh, I can't remember what he is.
He all of this is going on outside,
Oh.
and he walks.
Yeah, a green-skinned man with kind of little tusk teeth, two little tusk teeth, steps out, and he's, what's all the commotion out here?
Yeah, this is an orc.
Yeah, it's an orc.
Yeah. Wall turns to him and points back to the lake. The lake is exploding.
Okay,
The geothermal crap.
okay.
Our angel would not say it that way. I'm so sorry.
He's like, all right, I don't care. Do you want to buy anything?
What do you
No.
got?
He's like, come inside.
No. The answer is no, Angel.
Okay, let me pull up his list. Let me find his list of things he has. Oh, it's right there. Okay, so you walk into the shop, and he's got. He has food, and he actually has his own little rowboat that can go back across. And that's like a silver piece to go across the lake on his rowboat. So this guy's actually charging. Jinjib was just like this good Samaritan, but this orc is like, nah, you gotta pay me if you want to go across the lake.
He's a capitalist.
Yeah, and then he's got
Yeah.
his rowboat, which could fit maybe 3 people on it, tucked away behind his hut.
How about a mill?
What's that?
What about one of the mills?
I don't think it
Wall.
would fit. No, I think they'd be too heavy. Actually,
Are walls the melt? Are they waterproof?
they should be, and they actually
Yeah.
are pretty buoyant. Like they're all-terrain vehicles. I think you could probably pilot one across the water if you had all 6 wheels spinning pretty fast and only one person on
Yeah.
them. It's
I
like,
also feel like even if they weren't, they could probably just drive along like the bottom of the lake.
yeah,
Well,
if they
that
were
depends on
heavy
how
enough.
smooth it is down there. It might not be.
Their tires make them super buoyant. They're kind of like oh, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like this Russian vehicle with like 4 giant tires that could just float and then kind of paddle wheel across the water. That's what these things can do. So, like, if they had fallen off the raft, it wouldn't have been a big issue. Your food would have gotten wet. That's probably the worst.
Yeah.
Depending on how watertight those bags are.
So Grok offers you a couple things. They're all different prices, but he has some purple fungus stew, volcanic tea, Violet's Victory Ale, Plague Porter, which is a dark ale, throttleweed soup, baked shrimp and mushrooms with green algae sauce, Roth pie, and he also says if you need to stay the night, he's got board and lodging, though it's pretty much morning right now. And then he'll also take you across the lake if you want. That's what he offers. So, he's clearly
The
got
lake
food.
that just exploded.
He really doesn't care that the lake just exploded.
Okay.
You can ask him why he doesn't care.
No.
Well, that's on you. I'm just gonna reduce it down to this guy being crazy. Just a little bit.
He explains that basically this happens every once in a while, and Jinjib is such a short-term memory type of little creature that he just forgets about it, and he always seems to manage to, make it out alive, but he forgets that it happens. So this is a regular occurrence. It just happened while you were there. And he says, "Do you want food?"
Well,
I don't eat food. I mean, okay. I would say Steiner or Lonnie. Lonnie would probably be like, yes, we need food.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Our rations.
You're at 33 days of rations. It's not terrible. You can extend them, because these MREs will last practically indefinitely. But if you eat, perishable food instead, you can save the non-perishables for later.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, maybe we ought to have lunch or something. I don't know. Steiner's like, yeah, I'll have some, and he orders the Roth pie. Forks over like six silver, which I don't remember. I think I gave you some money from that last encounter in the jungle. You found some money there or something.
Yeah.
In a chest.
And if not, we can always have Koronov try and convince him to accept Republic credits. Or...
I like that. Koronov's like, I got something you've never seen before. And he pops out.
Come on! My friend, I have something you've never seen before. Something of great value. Something of so spectacular value that it is used as currency among the stars. That's a terrible Russian.
No, I like it. Keep going. Grok's like, let me see it. I want to know.
Alright. Koronov does like the kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean, how like Jack Sparrow does like that thing with the coin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Koronov kind of does that and then like holds it up.
Grok reaches out and snatches it. Well, that is certainly something I've never seen before. You know what? You got 3 more of these? So he's asking for 3 more.
Does Koronov have 3 more?
I would think so. He's got credits. He's like, give me 3 more and you can eat whatever. That's basically what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fill up on whatever you want, just give me 3 more of these. Like, he's already made a subjective decision on how valuable it is in his head. Based on 0 context or knowledge, he's decided, like, 3 more and you can have whatever you want to eat tonight.
Okay, Koronov gives him 3 more.
Perfect. Grok's like, great, eat what you want. I'm going out. And he leaves.
I was gonna ask him a question though.
Oh, you can stop him before he leaves.
Wait. Hold on, I just wanted to ask one thing. How many other people do you know are down here?
Well,
Besides the guy across the lake.
There's none more here at the lake, but if you follow this path, and he points, he says, that'll take you to the Dwarven City.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Enjoy your food. I'm going hunting. And he leaves.
Gonna make a salute like gesture, just a little bit, kind of weak.
Okay.
Just
He
bored.
he walks with like a little bit of a swagger to it. Like he thinks he's really like strong and buff.
Is he?
Like it.
I mean,
Probably.
he's an orc. They usually are.
Yeah, I'd be kind of shocked if they
Is
weren't.
he stronger than me?
He could maybe give you a run for your money.
But I'm made of metal, so he's probably not tougher than me.
Like, armor-wise, probably not.
I haven't given that any
Muscle-wise,
thought, so
maybe.
I'm not sure.
Skin tends to not be as strong as metals.
Correct. Yep. So
I'm an engineer. Look at me. This is all I've learned. Joking. I've learned more than that.
this wealth of knowledge that I pour forth for your benefit. Honestly, I think we're having more productive roleplay with fewer players now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we should kick one. Yeah.
Quick side note before I continue, I'm going to switch things up to twice a month for shorter sessions so people are able to make it more frequently.
Cool.
So I'll announce that later. But anyway, getting back into it. So Grok is gone. You've eaten whatever you want to eat, and Frederick Steiner took the Roth pie, and he didn't know this before he grabbed it and ate it, but it actually gives him a buff for the next 48 hours. Let me remind myself of what the buff is, because I can't remember. But he managed to pick one that's was a good choice. Oh, here we go. Wait, I thought that was it. I'm sorry. The problem of having 34 pages of notes is that you can't find which page it's on.
Quality and quantity.
But I know that I wrote it. It was like 2 months ago that I wrote it down. So it's here somewhere.
If you're like me, then you'll probably pass over it a few times, only to realize I passed over it a few times.
Right. That's really frustrating. I actually have so many potential encounters that I forget about them, and I've been passing encounters because I just forgot that I wrote them down. And so there's stuff that we haven't done yet that I could bring in later.
They like fighting encounters, or just like, things that happen?
A little of both. A little bit of both. No. Okay, I'm just gonna make it up because I can't remember what it was. He gets a. He gets a. I'm gonna call it stone skin. So he gets a bonus to his armor class of +5 for 48 hours.
Dang.
Wow. So basically, the spell Stone Flesh in Skyrim, but
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like that stone flesh, oak flesh, whatever.
the flesh ones.
10, almost said 10. +5 AC for 48 hours. So honestly, sadly he's the weakest in terms of AC, but that'll help him with that. So if you do end up fighting something. Of course, bonuses can be completely meaningless. So depends on how we go here.
It depends on how many you stack at once.
Yes.
Yeah, and if the next thing does like psychic damage or something, then I don't think the armor class will matter that much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's pray that it doesn't.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break so I can go to the restroom, get some water. My throat's getting dry.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and pick up. And we're back. So, y'all enjoy your meal. And Frederick Steiner looks out and he starts going for a stroll. Not too far. He just wants to see what's up. And he comes back and he says, I see structures in the distance, not very far.
And the accent.
Oh, I can't.
Show him his respect.
I can't really do a German accent, so I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, and I'll say, oh yeah, Grok told me about that.
This makes sense. No, see, that went into German or Russian. It's like I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to. I don't want to do a Russian by accident, so I'm gonna just not try. He says, "Okay, that makes sense. Well, have you all finished your meals? Are you ready to go? I think we ought to try to get to this place before nightfall." Quote, nightfall.
I'm fine.
Walt just kind of
Angel
looks at him
from
strangely.
the darkest corner of the room.
He's like looking around. Hey, where did the Myconids go? You spend like 20 seconds looking, and they're all like plopped in the dirt, lined up along the road. They blended in with the other wildlife because they're just having a snack. They're like single file, just lined up along the side of the road. Like, oh, there they are. Okay.
They're garden gnomes.
Like, I'm glad we didn't lose them. And so they all kind of uproot themselves, like, and they get up and they walk over to you. And
Like the stupid Weaklings, except for way less annoying. Anybody who's played the Skyrim Dragonborn DLC will get that.
Nope.
Guanwa it comes up to Frederick and says, "Oh, what's the plan, Commander?" And Steiner tells him, "Well, I think we should follow this path. We should get to that dwarven city. It sounds like our best chance of meeting people who can help." I feel like that's something he would do.
Walt strangely agrees. Well, not strange to like. Walt enthusiastically agrees.
Awesome.
Hope these people aren't hostile.
Well,
they're dwarves.
Won't
so
know till you
that means they're
get there.
just small humans.
let's find out.
Look, they could be Skyrim dwarves or they could be regular dwarves. The former, very hostile. More in like a, yeah, we'll help you, but yeah, see those slavery tools? Yeah, get in them. Start being slave.
Yeah. Not cool people. Not very cash money.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you start walking down the path, and it slowly turns from dirt into broken cobble, and the broken cobble, it's like this cracked, sort of yellowish stone. And as you get further along, it's less and less cracked and more filled in, and the road starts to seem a lot more well maintained. And you shortly you actually come across a lamp post, and it's got an oil lamp that's lit. Like, okay, so we're encountering civilization, it seems. You go a little bit further around a bend, and you see this big expanse of a valley. This is completely out of sight to you until you come around the bend, up crest over the hill. Huge valley, and from side to side spans this probably 300 foot tall stone wall made out of this golden colored brick with massive towers and spires, and this is a massive building. And it's from one side of the cave all the way over to the other. I don't have any rough measurements for you other than the height of the wall. It's just huge. And you see this winding path going down to it. And further along the path, there gets to be regularly spaced oil lantern lampposts. And there's a little bridge at one point over a river that probably is coming out of Lolth's Tier, the lake that you just crossed, and it's winding down through the valley.
What it's called again?
Lolth's Tier. It's hard to say. Lolths Tier.
Lolth's Tier.
Yep.
Sorry.
And there you see vegetation. It's a lush area. It's a little bit more overworldy looking. Not so much predominantly mushrooms. Like there's grass and there's shrubs and there's leafy plants and yeah, you see wildlife down there. There's on near the edges of the caves, the cave walls. You see there's a small herd of goats that are like literally climbing up the rocks and doing what goats do. And there's a herd of the small like cave bison down there, grazing in the grass, and there are actually some birds flying overhead, and it reminds you a lot more of being up on the surface. You can see some figures in the distance, but they're closer to the walls and they're too far away for you to recognize them. But there's definitely some sort of people down there. And I would say the amount of path between you and the front gate is probably about a mile.
From our position, are we able to see over the wall?
Sort of. You can tell the cave continues after the wall, but you aren't really able to see anything after, other than just like more cave ceiling.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot a really important part: the lighting. I'm gonna keep forgetting the lighting. There's this big glowing orb above the city, just hanging
this
from the
is
ceiling.
definitely Blackreach.
It's like Blackreach in that respect,
sorry.
but I'd say
I'm
the
calling
other
you
stuff's
out.
different.
But like even that had the really big orb light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in fact, if you shout at that thing like this, unrelenting force, a dragon will come out and try to kill you.
Yeah, I've done that.
Volterial. Yes, I know that. I hate myself. I hated myself that I know that, but
That's okay.
yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
And then play Skyrim.
Easily solved. Just buy the game, why don't you?
No.
And then buy like the 5, 6, 7 other re-releases of it.
Play the toaster edition. It's the most fun.
Yeah. I don't even have a toaster. Are you kidding?
Do they have different content?
No.
What do you mean? No.
We're
Just
kidding
a
about
little-
toaster.
Well, yeah, but like, do the other re-releases have different content?
I know the Switch release has like some Legend of Zelda things you can get, but usually it's not too great a difference. You can get some Creation Club stuff, but that's not really like a platform specific thing. Anyway.
It's okay. You can keep talking if you want. I was getting a map ready. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Do we want to erase this map?
Yes, I think so. This one's we're not quite ready to bring this one out or flip it over yet, but this one is going to be the next map. So, so at least I'm prepared. So, what would you like to do? I mean, it's definitely one-sided. There's really no other exits to the cave.
You can flip those tables over and then freeze them in the air. That's so cool.
Oh, like I just did?
Yeah, but you can like lock them in the air, right? And then you can expand a table.
Yep.
That's cool.
Huh.
Yep, that's how I made these.
Mm-hmm.
Steiner, I guess Steiner's just gonna take the lead and like, all right, follow me. Let's follow this path. He's like, I don't know what else we're gonna do. It's hopefully they're friendly. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like he would have some suspicion though. So what would Brian do? What would Brian do?
Well, I don't know. I'm not Brian.
I know, right?
My guess is he'd have me do what I was hoping to do earlier, which is get a view over the wall to see what's in there.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's possibility for that. So you're not. So I'll take back what I said about going down the road. He can, if you want to do some investigation, I can tell you. If you find a high, a point at which you could look over and try to see over the wall, I guess, with your optics.
Yeah.
Kind of like you did way back on that other planet by climbing up that rock.
With Dathomir?
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't
I'll try to do
Dathomir,
that.
was it?
I had a different planet, but it was very similar to Dathomir.
Oh. Dathomir.
I'm really unhappy with the name of that planet that I used a name generator, and I was like, okay, I'll just work with it, and then I started to really hate that name.
Why?
So, I don't know, it just sounds weird. Olninus? It's a weird name.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did
Well,
not.
What role should I do?
I was thinking investigation. I think that makes the most sense.
Alright. 14.
Perfect. You find a little goat path up the wall of the cave, and you identify that you could go up probably, I don't know, 100 feet up or so, because it's practically carved into the side of the rock. The goats have been there so many times.
Sure.
Sweet.
Yeah,
It'll be a
I'll do it.
really low check, really easy check to climb up that, athletics, and then we can do a perception check to see what you find once you're up there.
Well, I got a 1 on my athletics check, so...
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Are you proficient
Wait a
in
minute,
that?
wait. Yeah, yes, I am proficient.
Haha! Thought so.
what does that mean? Oh yeah, he
You
gets
get
bonus.
advantage.
I like to run it where anyone who has proficiency has advantage in that roll, in that skill.
And the
So it,
+2?
yeah.
What?
It's because that's how a previous DM of mine did it, and I really liked that, so that's how I do it.
Is it very...
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I got my character keeper Valerian from her.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I liked how she ran that game. Dang!
Yeah, that was so good.
Dang,
Yeah,
son!
also modified 21.
21? Okay, so, you're such a nimble and spry guy, you just get up there lickety-split.
Oh, yeah. And now
And-
perception, I think.
Already, even without optics, you can see cave off in the distance past the walls. But with optics, I can give you more and a better perception. So I guess roll perception with... I'll give you advantage if you use the optics.
I already have advantage anyway, so do I do double advantage?
Oh gosh. I don't think that exists. Let's just do one advantage then.
Okay, fine.
See, that's this.
That's the limitation of D&D 5e. In D&D 3.5, I'm sure there would have been a rule for something like that.
I mean, I could just roll 3 times and take the highest of that, but regardless, without that, it's 14.
Sweet! Okay, yes, well, let me get that then. You see... I'll explain the city first. So, everything's made out of a golden stone brick. Kind of like a sandstone in appearance. It's very different from the stone of this cave. So, it's like they either manufactured it or they found it somewhere else and brought it in. It's very odd. The walls are not carved out of the stone of the cave. This is something that was built in this location, not carved out of an existing rock.
So they had to bring this material in here.
Yeah, and so it's a choke point in or a bottleneck inside of a much bigger cave. So it blocks the only passage through this cave. There are no other exits. So inside of the city, you're able to see a little bit. There are loads of buildings, loads of rooftops. It's pretty darn big. Like, this is a bustling metropolis in the middle of nowhere, it seems. At least from your perspective, where you came from, almost the middle of nowhere. Beyond it, let me think what I want to say here. Beyond it, you see a big thoroughfare, a big road going off into the distance of the caves before it's lost to sight, and there's kind of more of this similar terrain that you're in right now. But because of your vantage point, you can't really see much more than that. I hope that was helpful.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess from a outside of from a meta point of view, this is like a bustling metropolis on the edge of probably a civilization, as in like you just came in through the most desolate area to get to an area that's full of life.
Interesting.
And the gate... Oh, I guess I can give you this information because you're using optics. You saw that there are, in fact, dwarven guards at the front of the gate. There are 2 of them. They stand there with spears in their hands. And the gate stands about 30 feet tall, 20 feet wide, 2 big doors. There's no like handle or exterior way to unlock it. The dwarves are probably about at the most 3.5 feet tall, though they carry huge pikes. I mean, those spears are just massive. They're two times the height of the dwarves. They're clad in golden armor, or at least golden-looking armor. You don't know that it's necessarily
Gilded
gold.
armor.
Yeah.
These are Skyrim dwarves. At least in appearance so far.
Oh,
That's their brassy material.
I guess I didn't think about that. It's so ingrained in me.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be like that too.
There are more dwarves upon the parapets of the wall. Staring out, they have bows. There are crossbows and short bows. And there's not a whole lot of them. There's probably a half dozen guards on the parapets. And then in the center of town, there is a big tower with a bell.
Intriguing. So I'm going to relay all this to the group, of course.
Yeah.
I'd rather not keep that a secret.
Yeah, good thinking.
Other than that, I really do not know what to do. I have a feeling we're going to get like attacked, or we're going to end up in like a really awkward situation where they're going to be like, yeah, you can't have any weapons in here. If they speak our languages at all.
Well, okay, but like the no weapons, they presumably don't know what a blaster looks like.
I just told you that they have spears and bows.
Yeah, but would that doesn't mean that they would recognize our weapons as weapons.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you said that they would know what a blaster looked like, and I'm like, they have spears and bows.
Sorry.
I guess they wouldn't know what my gun thing is either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just if you hold it right, you could just say this
Like a
is
staff?
A walking stick.
like a staff. You can say this is my walking stick. You wouldn't deprive a man of his
The
walking
staff!
stick, would you?
I told you to take the wizard's staff!
It is a very large and long rifle, so I probably could get away with that.
Probably.
Angel has become the boomstick wizard.
Although if I had like the stock on the floor, I'd probably get a bunch of dirt on my shoulder next to my shoulder bit.
Oh.
Eh.
But then
Small
again, they do
stick
have
with it.
crossbows, so it seems like they would recognize this. I could maybe see them recognizing the stock and being like, that must have a similar function.
Hang on. I know what you're trying to do. Well, they are dwarves, so that's another thing. They're usually an industrial folk. Usually engineers of some kind.
They
Pretty much
might
every
have
lore.
already developed very primitive guns, and just don't have the means of getting enough for everyone.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm feeling kind of tired.
Yeah, I was actually going to say this is an excellent place to stop because I, at the bare minimum, wanted to get you within eyesight of the Dwarven City, and now I can actually have a tangible thing to plan for the next session because I have had some material for the Dwarven City, but not enough to really go into detail. So this is a great place to stop. So I will...
Next session, I'm going to start the vote that we just like go around the Dwarven City just to spite you. I'm kidding.
Hope Bolt's an excellent miner.
Well, yeah, he's a...
None of us are gonna do it.
There's one other detail I want to make clear before we go, and that is you see along the ceiling of this cave an amazing view of...
Is it more convenient bioluminescence?
No. This time it is a lot of sparkling gems. So there are a lot of gemstones in this area. So I wanted to point that out. Now, most of them are like white or blue, but there's the occasional red or green one that are more rare. But those are all up on the ceiling, and above the Dwarven City, there don't seem to be any more. So...
Mine them all out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these
Wait.
little pockets in the walls where there used to be
Wait.
crystals.
In the ceiling? They did Michelangelo mining?
Well, I mean, they're working on it, but their tools are obviously not modern, so... They were able to get the ones out of the ceiling above the city, but they haven't gotten all the way out yet, you know?
Yeah.
It's a pastime of the youths to go ceiling climbing and see if they can pry something from the ceiling.
And they've already picked clean the walls, and you can see the results of that. So I just wanted to mention that. Because that'll be an important thing for the next session, actually. So, hint. Okay, so notes. Found...
We arrived at the Dwarven City. We found Gronk's trading post, or whatever his name is.
Grok.
And we went across an exploding lake.
Found...
Hope these guys don't have to deal with that. For their sake.
Trading post.
Who? What? When?
Lake. Exploded.
Man,
Okay.
we had like a visual representation of this place. I'll bet it'd be very pretty.
Ooh, thank you. I'm gonna take a picture of the notes and post it for you guys.
Cool. When I said that, by the way, that wasn't meant to be like an insult. Like, oh, it would be really nice if you did that. No. I'm just saying, the visual I'm getting in my head is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Only notifications in E6 since this started? Surprising.
All right, that's it for the session. I'll hit stop.
What are you?
Keep that fire off my back or this reactor blows, and then we're all toast.
Cease your exist.
Get up, friend. We're not done with you yet.
Alright, you.
That's the power of Valkyrian engineering.
Any life forces at all.
You're clearly on that split job.
Bastard, what are you doing? Get out of my way.
Taste plasma worms.
Attention mission impediment. You may be unaware, but you are currently in the way of 4 armed for action Stargate command operatives.
Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I am a colonel enthusiast, you see. Not some private you can frighten with your threats. Colonel Frederick Steiner.
Private Lonnie Conway.
Halt.
Captain Coronel.
Just call me Angel.